Hmm. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's doing good, enjoying life, and most of all, getting control of our emotions and our feelings. You know, uh, I just want to say this first to all that have doubts about where they stand in this world. You stand on your own 2 feet. You get on your own. You get your emotions together and your feelings together. For all these family members that have parents that don't get along with other family members, that don't mean that you can't get along with them, you know, because, and this is, and if my grandchildren is listening to me right now, just because your mother don't like me, that doesn't mean that you can't like me. That doesn't mean that you can't get to know who I am and know me and know that I'm your aunt and I love you. I've never done nothing to you. I never done nothing to your mother that she didn't do to me. I mean, that's in the past. It's a shame that this generation grows up not knowing who their family is, not loving their family, not passing on family values to their kids. It's a shame that I don't know my nieces and nephews, and their kids don't know me, and I don't know them. It's just a crying shame. That's why I've said that we need to get our emotions and our feelings in check and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why I don't like my mother? Why I don't like my grandmother? Why I don't like my grandfather? Ask yourself hard questions. And also, I want to talk about this book I got. The Fifth Agreement. It says to be impeccable with your word. And that's another thing that what's bringing us down is we talk before we think. We're not impeccable with our words. And it says, speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using words to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Now, we who cares about other people and care about this world and care about our country, care about our community, care about our family, care about ourselves, you will do that. And the ones that's out here spewing that hate, hatred, and division and racism, you need help because you was raised to be that way. You wasn't born to be that way. All these different hate groups out here that meets in the night, teaching their kids how to shoot guns and how to hate people that don't look like them. That is really something that you learned. It was wrong then, and it's wrong now. The meek is going to inherit the earth. The loving, kind people are going to inherit the earth. Because you know what? You're going to have to be hated. You're going to have to hate and be mean all your life. And these mean and hatred people, you really think you're going to heaven, don't you? You go to church, pay your tithes, and you really think you're going to heaven with all that hatred in your heart. Mm. Another one. Don't take anything personally. Oh, that is a problem that we all have, that we all have to work on every single day. It's some people that got it bad. You can say something about something that happened in the news, you heard in the news, and they would act like you talking about them. Why do you take everything so personal? I stopped once I read this book. I've had this book since um oh, I didn't write it in there for a long time. It came out in 2010, so I don't know when I got it. But when I've been working on that ever since I read those words. I really haven't. I really don't take stuff personal to the point where it's going to dictate my reactions and my actions. Unless you directly talking to me. But we can have a decent conversation without me getting upset because you said something, and I know people do that. And it's a reason why, because they have the internal fight going on within themselves. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. What you are immune to, when you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. That is so true. That's why when I hear people on there, when I see people on videos fighting because somebody called them a name, and you getting beat up or you beating somebody up because they called you a name. To me, that's grade school stuff. I mean, you're going to go to jail, might even get shot because somebody called you a name. That's a trap. All they got to do is call you a certain name, and you're going to react, and they can shoot you and get away with it because of the stand your ground laws that's in certain places. Come on. We ain't learned from Trayvon Martin how they literally, that thing got away with that murder. Even though he started it, he got away with it because of that law. That ain't nothing but an invitation to, you want to get away with something, just start something. How do you handle that? How do you handle that when somebody literally hit you or say something to you, and if you start beating them up and they shoot you and they're going to get away with it? What can you do if somebody, that is a hard question that we need to ask ourselves. What will we do in a situation like that in order to make sure you make it home? Well, are you going to let the chance of being looked like you're weak or sorry if you was to just walk away? No, you ain't got to just walk away. All you got to do is just say a couple words and walk away. Or you could just walk away. Because your main objective is to make it home to your family, not get in a brawl or a meaningless word fight with somebody that you probably won't even see again. I know it's crazy out there, and a lot of us have to think about that because I know me. I could say stuff before, but even if I do say something, that don't mean I have to keep going. I have to keep going at it. That no, I ain't got time. I got things to do. I got places to go and people to see. I ain't got time to be arguing with your stupid ass. You know, come on, we got to get our stuff together. We have to learn from all our mistakes and don't make assumptions. Oh, that's a bad one. Assuming stuff. That's what get a lot of us in trouble too, isn't it? Because dude didn't call us back. We assume he's out there cheating, or person said he gonna do something and don't do it. You just gonna assume that they lie. So, in order not to make assumptions, you have to find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Yeah, I know we do that. We'll say something. We just gonna assume they know what we're talking about. No, you can't assume that, because that's what happened to me this morning. I sent the text, and instead of saying the word, I I replaced it with another word, and they gonna ask me what? What do you mean? And I had to calm myself down because I was getting ready to say something. So I just explained myself, and I just said what I was meaning to say, and that way everything was fine and dandy. And that's what we do. We have to communicate with others clearly to avoid misunderstandings. Yes. And we know it's a lot of people that thrive on misunderstandings. They want you to misunderstand so they could swoop in there and change directions on you whenever they feel like it. Because we have to realize that everybody have two faces, some more. They'll tell you one thing for these group of people, and then they'll tell something else for this group of people. So that's why um, we have to realize that we can't go by what you say. We have to go by what you do. Because you can tell me anything. Like I always say, people got their church face and then they got their at home face. And a lot of us know that. There's a lot of people out here that know the truth, what's really going on. But they're not going to say that because they don't want to get, because they're scared. This country is full of fear. People are scared to say what they want to say because of fear. Yes, you can get killed. Yes, you can lose your money. Yes, you could lose your job. Yes, you could lose your kids, your husband. Yeah, you can lose a lot by revealing the truth. And as many are in their grave now because they wasn't scared to die by telling the truth. It's a shame. It's a shame the truth will get you killed. And lies too. Lies will too. We ain't gonna stop. We ain't gonna deny that. And also, um, with just this one agreement, you will completely transform your life, and that is true. That is true. I have been able to be honest with myself because I'm not assuming anything. I'm finding facts. I'm asking myself hard questions, and I am living my life, my truth. And I'm also accepting the way things are. And if I could, I would do something about it. And always do your best. That's number 4. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy or opposed to sick, as opposed to being sick. And under any circumstances, simply do your best and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. And I had this guy tell me yesterday he has no regret. I said, that is beautiful. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get there one day because I do have a lot of regrets. I'm going to get there one day, but I'm not there yet. And see, we have to teach our kids to be truthful with yourself, love yourself, so you won't grow up with regrets. And I know darn well that 20-year-old that's in prison for 25 years is going to have regrets. He may not have it now, but 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, he's going to have a regret. They're going to have to understand that your actions lead to circumstances, and also it leads to circumstances are you willing to live with? Sleeping with that man, robbing that store. Are you willing to live with um with that decision and the outcome? Why are we not teaching our kids to be respectful to women? I don't know what happened, and our women. Why we're not teaching our girls to be respectful of their body, of their elders. Spend your time taking care of the older people in the neighborhood, taking care of your grandparents, cleaning up your yard or some older people's yards. Our role as women is to take care of others and to be respectful of yourself, because women are supposed to be the great teachers, the great healers, because we are the ones that's refurbishing the earth. And we should be teaching our kids to be loving to everyone, not teaching them to hate or to be criminals. Fifth one, be skeptical, but learn to listen. Don't believe yourself or anybody else. Use the power of doubt to question everything you hear. Is it really the truth? Listen to be intent behind words, and you will understand the real message. Because right now we have a media frenzy. Everywhere you go, you got everybody's opinion, everybody's words. You have memes, you have emojis, you have all kind of ways. We are in a psychological warfare right now. People can tell you all kind of stuff, and you have people out here that will believe it and will retell it. It's a shame. Our education system is being hurt on a big scale, and it's a shame. It's a darn shame that we don't realize that our tax dollars are funding this craziness. Just because you have, just because the GOP has the House and the Senate and the White House, doesn't mean that we have to be treated this way. You're getting paid with our money too. We are paying you to listen to everybody, not just the ones that voted for you. And this is a good book to read. 4 centuries of American education. And before kids even go to school, they need to understand what education is. You don't teach them your ABCs. Don't just teach them their one, two, threes, how to tie their shoes, how to dress themselves. Teach them what education is and what it's for, and the standards. Because see, these kids are going to grow up and have families and have kids that go to school too. That's why you have a lot of parents now that is actually just going forward. All this stupid stuff that they are trying to do. When they start when they took out sewing classes, cooking classes, um, culture classes, and wood burning and all that other stuff, kids, I mean, even they was even learning how to do auto mechanics stuff in high school. They took that all out. So they've been trying to destroy really the education system since the 70s. Well, no, the middle of the 80s. But us parents didn't do nothing about it. We just sat back and just tried to make a living. So now they literally gonna try to get rid of the Board of Education. They crazy. America is now entering its 5th century of education students. Wow. For every generation throughout the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, providing and obtaining a good education has been a major emphasis. Now it's a joke. But by what standards should a good education be measured? Should it be measured on the technical, logical advance? We're not teaching our kids holistic ways. Our kids now learn different, and now they are attacking the teachers that they can only teach a certain way. And these are people that's telling us that's trying to ruin the education system that's really not even educated themselves. They only educated with money and hate, and their hatred of the brown and black people. Now, like I said, for the last 50 years, education is not rising up where it should be. And it brings out how early academic standards was much higher. I got a math book. I got some books that were used in like 1881. And what they were teaching those kids is nothing compared to what they're teaching our kids now. And it says right here, fourth grade was taught geography. And these are some of the questions. Now, I'm telling you, my grandson is going to the sixth grade, and he couldn't answer none of these questions. One question is, how many degrees of longitude are there? These are being taught in fourth grade back in the 1800s. How many degrees wide are the temperature cones? Zones. What is a watershed? I bet you some of these kids wouldn't even know what a white outhouse is. Um, oh, it's sad. It's sad. That's why I say kids need to learn what education is before they get started in school. They putting them in school when they're 4 years old. To me, that's soon. That's too soon. But I know, it's the world we live in now. Women have to go to work. Oh, I feel so sorry for these women that have to put their kids in daycare at 6 months old. Somebody else taking care of your kids. Let me see. Now, this is something too that's going on now. They want to do that down south. They want to put the 10 Commandments in the school. Why? When the 10 Commandments don't mean a darn thing. They break the 10 Commandments every day of their life. How do you go to school and you walk in there and see these 10 Commandments, knowing you just broke like 5 of them just yesterday? A defense of the use of the Bible in school. Now, they used to have Bible classes, but that was for people who wanted that after school. They had that available for some people. And then you have a lot of people a lot of these churches are having schools, but it's only for money. My grandson went to one of those church schools, and they would actually be graded on knowing scripture. And I'm looking at these parents, and I'm looking at these kids in this church school, and I'm like, okay, okay. I would never, I would never send my child to a church school. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't trust him. Let me see. Many of Americans' early educational leaders were patriots who had been directly involved in the American Revolution. They understood that if America was to endure beyond the revolution, then the principles of which she had been birthed, nurtured, and developed must be successful, transmitted to future generations. So, like most of our founding fathers, Dr. Rush was a prolific writer, and one of his educational policies papers was titled A Defense of the Use of the Bible in Schools, 1791. At the beginning of that work, Dr. Rush first declared, before I state my arguments in favor of reaching children to read by means of the Bible, I shall assume the five following propositions. One, that Christianity is the only true and perfect religion, and that in proportion as mankind adopts its principles and obeys its precepts, they will be wise and happy. See, we have to remember that these people who are making all these laws and regulations and all this stuff, they read this stuff. They have bureaucrats that go through all this stuff that worked in the past and didn't work in the past, and they continuing this stuff because see, this is what we go through. It's like a yo-yo. The Democrats in office, okay, things changed. It's this way, that way. Republican in the office, oh, it's just changed and it went this way. Why can't people just do what's right for the people? I thought it was for the people, but it seemed like it's for whoever's in charge. We are so tired of going through these changes. That's why we need an independent, somebody who is just independent thinking in the White House. We never had that. So that's why we have to really work on who's going to be the next president. Okay, number two, that a better knowledge of this religion is to be acquired by reading the Bible than in any other way. Three, that the Bible contains more knowledge necessary to man in his present state than any other book in the world. Number four, that knowledge is most durable and religious instruction must most useful when imparted in early life. And five, that the Bible, when not read in school, is seldom read in any subsequent period of life. That may be true. As most of these religious people, they don't read the Bible at home. They don't teach the Bible. I believe you should teach your kids at home what the Bible says. That way, you're not you could teach them individually and at their pace, and you could study what the Bible says, and you could enact it in your life. You could, and your kids could ask questions. So, yeah. Well, like I always continue to say, we have to get off this emotional roller coaster because this is all that's happening. These people keep on messing with our emotions and our feelings, and we are just going crazy because all we hear is all this bad stuff, and there's nothing we can do about it. All this bad stuff that they keep saying about this president, but he's still president. Thanks for the update. Thanks for letting me know I'm getting ready to get ran over. I'm getting ready to die because I can't go to the doctor. Thank you for letting me know. We need solutions. Give me a list of free doctors and hospitals that I can go to if I lose my medical coverage. Tell me something that I could use. And why are you out here telling all this stuff about what he's doing? What is you doing? There, he could have been out of office if they really wanted him out of office. But anyway, we went through this chaos in 2016 to 2020, and now they want to go back to the chaos of 2020. Oh my goodness, please give me a break. And then I'm going to end with this. They're going to have the audacity to tell us that he could be president of 2028. I mean, he might try to be president. Wait a minute. Are we not hearing or seeing how old this man is and how bad health he is and how close to full-blown dementia he is? And we supposed to believe that he could still be president in 2028? Get off this emotional roller coaster. It is crazy. It is this is a good book to read. Don Miguel Ruts, I think. The Fifth Agreement. He has other books. The Master of Self. I read it in the morning. I listen to it in the morning. Because we got a fight on our hands. We have to fight the emotions that rise up in the feelings that we have. We have to keep love in our heart. And we have to realize the life that we're living is going to get better. And like I say, like I tell my brothers and sisters, we have to be brand new. We're not descendants of slaves anymore. We are descendants of what we became after we were stolen. We have to be brand new and stop being the victim. It's time for us to start building a new infrastructure, building connections with Africa and building new businesses downtown and teach our kids you're different, act different. All right, thank you for listening. I'm using this new record. I'm gonna upgrade pretty soon. Let's see how this does. Thank you for listening. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day.